Alright guys, I have to admit, this is my second time recording this episode because I was not happy with my first take, so we're doing this again. If you want to hear the first one, just go on Patreon, I guess. Anyway, so, welcome to Battlefield 1 Podcast, the best Battlefield podcast in the universe. My name is Tom, also known as TheLankySoldier, and you guessed it, we talk about Battlefield and only Battlefield, and before we continue with anything, I just have to say that we are very, very happy that Andrew Wilson got 38 million in bonuses for making Battlefield 6 a success. Guys, clap for Andrew Wilson. He worked so hard to make Battlefield 6 a success. Guys, you can't understand this. Revolutionary talent right there. Just made Battlefield 6. He brought Battlefield back and everything, and they increased the shareholder value to unimaginable levels. That shareholder value got sold to Saudis. I mean, what masterclass right there, guys. Masterclass. Absolute Chad. And the developers lost their jobs, of course, because they need to downscale, but he made a hard decision as he did that and was earning those 38 million. Guys, it's just... Guys, I'm gonna sing for Andrew Wilson for his hard work that he did for us Battlefield fans, us gamers. Revolutionary talent. Oh my god, thank you, Andrew Wilson, so much for everything. Because I'm gonna simp for you so fucking hard. Anyway, welcome to Battlefield 1 Podcast. Yeah, that's how I feel today. So yeah, let's go.
But then when you've got Angel screaming, Angel does it again. And
that was something, right?
That was something.
I'm sorry, you canceled the support for the game a month ago.
Why would they even host a trade?
I don't know.
And I sit down and he picks up one donut and eats it. So you want to QA games?
When the rubber meets the road, they're gonna be like, oh my god, I don't like seeing Mario get his skull smashed.
Oh, I would love
it
to see
doesn't
that.
work.
I would love to
Yeah,
see
that's
that.
it.
Alright, first and foremost, guys, thank you guys so much for joining for another episode of Battlefield 1 Podcast. I appreciate you. I'm glad that you guys choosing us to be your weekly entertainment for an hour as we talk about Battlefield. Thank you guys so much. And thank you guys so much for everything, that support us on Patreon. Without you guys, this show would not exist without our Patreon supporters. So patreon.com/TheLankySoldier. Thank you guys for everything. $2 or $5, your support means everything to us. It helps us a lot. It just changes everything, makes me feel committed and everything. Like I said, this is my second time recording this episode because I was not happy with the first take because I was too miserable. There were so many things happening in the background. I'm like, no, guys, you deserve a good episode. You guys deserve a decent episode where I actually talk sense. So this is my second time recording this. So hopefully you're gonna enjoy it. And sorry if the Patreon supporters get this episode one day a bit later because, like I said, second time. But yeah. And also, so I was trying to record that Q&A episode that we all talked about. So you all know that I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks, something like that, 2-3 weeks. So I'm not going to be on my PC. And the plan is to record a Q&A episode. So I'm trying to bring Ray to record with me. And I asked him when he's available, and he's available for next week. So we're gonna record next week that Q&A. So if you have any questions for us, personal, about the show, about Battlefield, whatever is on your mind, please go to the description of this episode. The first link you will see is a link to Google Forms document, and just type your question there. So if you have any questions for us, personal, like I said, personal game related, show related, something else related, keep asking. You have another week because the deadline was the 1st of August, so you have another week. So just keep asking those questions in the document, just continue sending them, and we're gonna answer all those questions in the next episode. Well, that next episode is gonna be in 2-3 weeks, I think. But yeah, and we already pre-recorded some episodes for upcoming month, so this month. So we already have 2 episodes recorded. We have an episode with Andre coming up. He finally bought the game, so we're gonna do we did a review of him as a boomer, reviewing the game, how he feels about the game, is there anything he likes to see in the game, what's his opinion, because he's a casual gamer, so I kind of want to get his perspective from a person that didn't drink the Battlefield Kool-Aid yet. So I want to hear his opinion. So that's an episode, and we recorded a roundtable episode. This is the most people we had on Battlefield 1 podcast so far, 4 people. So we did a four people episode, and we did a roundtable episode about Battlefield 6, which is 1 year later. The reveal happened a year ago. So we're discussing, hey, how you guys feel about the game, what you like to see in the game, all that kind of stuff, right? So that episode is coming up. Of course, all the episodes that we already recorded, they're going to be early on Patreon. So if you want to hear them early, go subscribe to Patreon, patreon.com/TheLankySoldier. But if you're not subscribing, I guess you just have to wait for, as usual, like week by week basis. But yeah, if you want to hear them early, just subscribe to Patreon. So yeah, that's what's happening. So if you have any questions and anything that you want to ask us, just go to the link in the description, ask us any questions, and me and Ray will answer all those questions for you guys for the next episode. So that's the plan. So you still have a week to ask any question you want if you haven't asked anything. So feel free. And also, I don't need your email or anything. You can submit as many questions as you want, so it's fine. So okay, so I think that's all the what's it called? Announcements, I guess. So I guess let's talk about Battlefield. So first and foremost, of course, like I already said in the intro, I have to mention this, I guess, because it's quite disgusting. Capitalism at its worst, I guess, in the late stages of capitalism. I don't want to be doom and gloom and all that kind of stuff, but it still sucks, it's still annoying, it's been happening for a while, but hey. So, EA is being EA like any publisher out there, making millions and all that kind of stuff, AAA shooters, AAA games, all that kind of stuff, which is fine. Like, the company is there to make money, obviously, that's not a surprise. But it just kind of sucks that, when executives, which I think it's not even an unpopular opinion, that they're grossly overpaid, grossly overvalued of what they bring to the company, because realistically, sure, someone said to me like, well, yeah, but they're the ones making the decisions. Like, if they make the bad decisions, they're the ones gonna get all the blame, all that kind of stuff, right? Because if something goes wrong, it's on them. Sure, but at the end of the day, even if that person gets, the CEO that made the bad decision is gonna get fired or pushed out of the company, doesn't matter. They're gonna get a parachute payment. They're still gonna get loads of money, loads of millions. Basically, going backwards. So what was it? Going up backwards or something? I can't remember the quote. Anyway, the point is that Andrew Wilson, because of the success of Battlefield 6, and they fired some developers back in the spring, he earned 38 million in stock value, the bonuses and stuff, right? And there's no point talking about stock stuff anyway these days, because EA is going to be sold to, I think it's going to be approved later this week, that Saudis own EA at this point. So Andrew Wilson is going to get even more money when that deal is finally completed. So, he got 38 million from all the stock bonuses. And the reason we even know about this 38 million number that he got is because they legally was supposed to tell us that, hey, this is how much we paid for these executives because they have stock in the company, all that kind of stuff, right? Now, of course, I never met these people. Like, it's not only Andrew Wilson. There's other people that earned like 10 million, 12 million, all that kind of stuff, right? But Andrew Wilson is the one that earned 38 million in that particular quarter. Or is it like all quarters together? Regardless, it's just grossly overpaid. So just imagine how many things developers could do if they had a 38 million budget. Just imagine, imagine if developers had a 38 million budget for something. Just like listen, hey, Andrew Wilson, get your bag. It's fine. Like, when people, work at big companies and everything, get your bag. It's fine. Like, I will support that, but there's some levels of ridiculousness sometimes that, like, hey, you get your bag, but sometimes I'm thinking, how do you even earn this much and by doing what? Again, I never met these people, I've never been in that position, but I would do they deserve that 38 million? I don't know. To me, I don't think anyone deserves that kind of money without some serious work and all that kind of stuff. And also, like, hey, he's probably working hard. I don't fucking know. But I don't know what kind of job he's doing as a fucking CEO. What his day-to-day, job in is. I don't know. Does he just make a decision 1 week and just piss off for the next week? I don't know. Maybe I listen. It's just gross. That's all it is. It's just gross. And especially when developers lose their jobs because shareholder value, because every time a company fires people, a publicly traded company fires people, the stock goes up because, hey, they can make more money now, all that kind of stuff, because less paying salaries and all that shit. It's just gross. I don't know what else to add. It's just gross, disgusting. It's just like, and especially because people lost their jobs when Battlefield 6 was a fucking success, and people got fired anyway. And that's the gaming industry in a nutshell. It's not. Sure, some gaming bad decisions can ruin gaming, but overall, it's just mostly executives and the big publishers that mostly ruin gaming these days because they make everything so expensive and everything, lack of content, and then fire developers. Developers are overworked. They're the ones doing all, like, if it wasn't for these developers, Andrew Wilson would not have 38 million in his pocket just from 1 year. I guess I presume it's from 1 year. So yeah, ridiculous money. So I'm just like, yeah, I got nothing else to say. It's just disgusting. It's just disgusting. That's all it is. It's just disgusting. Okay, I guess, yeah, let's go to the next topic. So the next topic was Q&A happened. So Q&A happened, and Battlefield Studios hosted another Q&A, and it was announced on Tuesday last week, and it happened on Thursday. So I did say on Tuesday, I think in all my social media accounts, I did say we will learn nothing in this Q&A because they can't answer important questions. They will answer questions that are they can answer, like that confirms their development schedule for the next 2-3 months. That's the most you will get. You will not get any important answers to any important issues because they can't talk about it, because there's always someone breathing behind their backs. The answers are very curated, the questions are very curated, and I would not be surprised if some of the people asking the questions was selected by some people from the company. Now, of course, it's not always, but I would not be surprised because again, at the end of the day, marketing and all that kind of stuff, which we already learned, they want to control the narrative. They want to know, they the ones control what gets out. They want to, like, because KPIs, all that shit, nonsense. Very corporate stuff. So anyway, was there anything learned in that Q&A that is so important, or anything like, oh yeah, I really need to know what they're gonna talk about? No, we learned nothing from it. It's just like, I'm actually opening right now the Q&A just to see if what was it? Here we go. That recap of the Q&A. Like, oh yeah, there's no plans to bring Commander mode into Battlefield 6. Okay, cool. Like that was pretty obvious. Platoons thing. I don't remember if they say in the. Oh, okay. So this is why I get confused. So there was a community update that dropped, and the Q&A that happened in the same time frame. I think like a day difference. And that's why I get confused, because they talk about proximity chat, and they talk about platoons, and they talk about custom lobbies, all that kind of stuff, right? So those were the questions they answered about in the Q&A. But the problem is, that's nice and everything, but the next day they literally posted a community update talking about that kind of stuff, about literally that. So that tells you they will not answer any other question except what was already coming in that blog post the next day. So this Q&A to us, at least to me, is kind of pointless. Oh, like they talk about, is there any more collaborations that come in the future? Well, duh, of course they're coming, more collabs are coming into the game. That's obvious. Because someone asked about the Top Gun and everything, like, okay. Year 2 is confirmed officially, at least by a developer, not by an executive. I think it was Laura Mealy, one of the managers for the European studios. She said, yeah, minimum 2 years of production for support for Battlefield 6. Okay, great. There was about questions about destruction, I'm not gonna even answer. Modes and everything. Someone asked about operations, if Operation Ogre or any new ones are coming back. Developers one of the developers said like, yeah, Operation Augur will return to Battlefield 6 in a future playlist rotation. Okay, that's great. Beyond that, the team has heard the enthusiasm for the mode, and they have bigger plans for operations coming in the future seasons. We'll talk about that later, because that's talk about the leaks that happened in the last month, basically. So we'll cover that. So quite important. He basically confirms that the leak that we're gonna discuss later is correct. Alright, Battlefield and new Big Stick reworks will be released later in Season 5. Okay, blah blah blah. Weapon gadgets, don't care. Vehicles, don't care. Anyway, nothing interesting that TK happened. So that Q&A was a waste of time. I was reading with one eye when I was doing like making food or something like that, and I'm like, wow, this is a waste of time. Literally a waste of time. So yeah, Q&A was a waste of time. That's all I'm gonna say, because obviously they're not gonna reply. They're not gonna answer any important questions, and they only answer the questions that happen to be in a blog post the next day. So yeah. Anyway, so should we go with the community update, I guess? Yeah, let's go with that, because I think it's a nice transition to that. Let's go, community update that happened. Okay, so I had a cup of tea in my hand, and it's a very lovely cup of tea that I made, so yeah, that's that. Anyway, so Battlefield 6 community update. New maps, features, and more. So this blog post doesn't give me a date when it got released. Anyway, it released last week. So, in this blog post, they talk about custom lobbies and spectator mode, proximity chat, maps in Season 5, server browser and matchmaking, platoons, multiplayer leaderboards, multiplayer ranked, weapon, vehicle, and gadget rebalance. So, the timeline for everything, they say in this community update, is that August, Season 4, Phase 2, we getting, which is happening in 2-3 weeks, 2 weeks, maybe 3. Doesn't matter. Phase 2, like the 18th of August, right? We're getting custom lobbies, spectator mode, and Wake Island. Okay, cool. By the way, I have to mention that custom lobbies and spectator mode are both in Battlefield Labs. They're gonna have the Battlefield Labs tag on them, at least spectator mode, because spectator mode is only gonna be in Conquest and Battle Royale quads, and it's gonna be spectator mode will be added to other modes later on, because it's not finished, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, anyway, spectator mode is coming later this month. And custom lobbies too, which is going to be extension of Portal, all that kind of stuff into... Oh, Wake Island. Okay, cool, whatever. We know Wake Island. Alright, so in September, Season 4, Phase 3, which is the last stage of the Season 4, we're going to get proximity chat. Okay, looking forward to proximity chat. Apparently it's going to be the early iteration of proximity chat, because they still don't know, what the details, how balance it will be, or what's the distance to proximity chat, all that kind of stuff. Lots of work needs to be done to make proximity chat be good. So I guess they say it's going to be under construction, like the Battlefield Labs tag. So anyway, yeah, that's that. So we already knew that was already announced in one of the blog posts or roadmap. Well, it was one of those. Okay, next stage with this Season 5. This is the best. Oh shit! Hit my microphone. The best part. Season 5. Season 5 will have platoons, server browser, multiplayer leaderboards, and 3 new maps. When? They say winter. Winter. When does winter start? 1st of December. Where are we right now? In August. Okay, let's continue. Alright, let's continue. Let's see. I'm just going down the blog right now. Okay, they talk about proximity chat. Okay, I don't care. Anyway, so Season 5. It's gonna get 5 maps, technically, because the 2 remakes. So we have 3 new maps. One of them is infantry focused, which is probably gonna be the propaganda that got leaked, and they already shared some screenshots of that map. Like, it was a really blurry picture of the new map. They teased it, and it looks like propaganda. I played so many hours on propaganda, and propaganda is a map from Battlefield 4, Dragon Seed DLC, if I remember correctly. Good map. I love propaganda, so I'm glad it's coming back. And also, the propaganda map got leaked 2 years ago, before even the game came out. So yeah, that's definitely propaganda, because I recognize even though it's blurry as hell and glitchy as hell, as in like in the effect of it, you cannot tell what location is. But I'm looking like, no, I can tell. I can tell. That's propaganda. That's propaganda, and yeah, that's propaganda. Anyway, so that's probably the infantry focus map. Other two, God knows what map is. Are those? Some people say Las Vegas. Cool. And the new remakes that are coming, which is Battlefield Fields and So Big City, which are coming as the late addition to Season 5. So that's that. So regarding news. Okay, so this is the best part. So with Season 5, server browser and matchmaking. Server browser will enter Battlefield Labs testing ahead of its planned release in Season 5 as part of Phase 3. Giving players an early opportunity to try feature and help us refine the experience. So if you in Battlefield Labs, you'll probably will be able to test this before Season 5 Phase 3. When did they say that Season 5 starts? When did they say? Winter. So that's probably early December or end of November at best. So, okay. Phase 3. So each phase is a month. Are we doing the math in our heads, guys? Are we doing the math? Drum roll. When the server browser coming to Battlefield 6? February 2027. 2027. That's in 6 months from now. No, I apologize. 7 months from now. A year and a half since the game came out. That's when we're gonna get server browser for Battlefield 6. Now, I personally don't care about the server browser, personally. But when they talked about server browser, I'm glad you're working on the server browser. But server browser is not coming until February. You heard that correctly? February. 7 months from now, we're gonna get server browser. Holy fuck. I have nothing else to say. It's like, listen, I'm not gonna blame developers because, hey, I just talked about Andrew Wilson earning 38 million. Mad lad, fucking Chad earning 38 million. Just carrying the whole franchise by himself on his fucking shoulders like a Chad that he is, while firing developers from the company. Now imagine if they gave... Now, of course, more money doesn't mean more work is being done. Of course not. But I'm pretty sure that half of the bonus he got, was it 30? So 16? No more. Anyway, the dude doesn't matter. Anyway, imagine to 10 million, 15 million. Imagine instead of paying Andrew Wilson that kind of money, imagine we put this into development or marketing or somewhere the company that deserves that, a bit of help. Maybe people would not lose their jobs. Now, of course, everything doesn't mean they. Well, we don't know who lost their jobs and everything, but I've seen some good people lost their jobs because reasons and because shareholder value. So anyway, we're not getting server browser until February 2027. Great. Good stuff, lads. Good stuff. I love it so far. Right, platoons, let's go. Platoons also remain on track to... Platoons also remain on track for Season 5, Phase 3. So we're not gonna get platoons this year. We're not gonna get server browser this year. Okay, alright. A year and a half later, after the game's release, we'll be getting server browser and platoons in its early iterations, by the way. It's not even finished product. It's not even the finished product, guys. It's gonna be the early iterations of that. Great. Alright, moving on. Multiplayer leaderboards. Okay, I want leaderboards. I don't know why they still don't have leaderboards in multiplayer, but hey, okay. Also, I hope it actually works like a proper leaderboard and not like some bullshit nonsense. So anyway, multiplayer leaderboards. Multiplayer leaderboards remain on track for the launch of Season 5. Alright. Building on the system introduced with Ranked Battle Royale, okay, this feature will give players new ways to track performance and compare their progress across multiplayer. We will share more details on the available categories and how the system will work closer to release. See, I hope it's not going to be like some sort of seasonal type of stat shit. That's what my worry is. I want a proper stat page with leaderboards and everything so I can compare like to my friends and and other players globally, all that kind of stuff, right? I want a proper leaderboard. I don't want like a seasonal rank type of shit. I hope that's not the case. If it's a seasonal type of stat tracking, it's like, oh yeah, here's the top 250 players in the multiplayer leaderboards. I'm like, I don't give a damn, man. I hope that's not the case. I hope. But for some reason, I think because they mentioned the ranked battle royale, and it just only tracks the top 250 players. I hope that's not the case, but it gives me that impression, which is, that's not great, not great. Anyway, multiplayer ranked. Okay, so they don't mention much. They say it's being worked on. They don't have a release date, and that's it. So the team is continuing to evaluate the right time to introduce multiplayer ranked. So if platoons and server browse are not coming until 2027 February, I don't think multiplayer ranked is coming this season, in this year either. You know, forget season 5. I don't think it's coming this year. That's the impression I'm getting. Because they still trying to do RedSec in a sense, which is great. That's fine. But the problem is it doesn't feel like they're getting. But we'll talk about that. I think there's something happening in the background because I don't know if you guys clicked yet. I don't know if you guys realized. This season ends in October, right at the anniversary of Battlefield 6. And then they say season 5 is starting winter, which is either end of November or start of December. There's a month gap between season 4 and season 5. What's happening in between that, right? Is it gonna? All of you are thinking like, well, yeah, season 4 is gonna be extended. I think this is gonna happen. I think this is what's gonna happen. They're gonna do a mini season, like some sort of anniversary, Battlefield 6 1-year anniversary type of season for a month. Is you'll have like 5 weeks of challenges to do, and GTA 6 is coming out in that period. Modern Warfare 4 is coming out in that period. So instead of dropping like really good stuff, because they know they can't compete against Modern Warfare 4, they definitely can't compete with GTA 6 in terms of like player retention, all that kind of stuff. So, but they need to do something, right? So in a sense, I kind of see why it's smart to delay season 5 until all this hype and all the, when people gonna be more free during the winter after Modern Warfare 4 and GTA 6, because I'm playing Modern Warfare 4. I'm telling you, like I have the game in my library. I already have it pre-ordered because I'm gonna play the game because I'm looking forward to it because it's a special Call of Duty for me. But yeah, so people are gonna be excited for Modern Warfare 4. They're gonna be excited for GTA 6. So I kind of see the sense behind the logic, like, okay, do not release Battlefield Season 5 yet, because all the hype is going to be on those games. But we still have to do something. So they can do, like, this was going to happen, like I said. They're going to do an anniversary type of season. It's going to be 1 month long, because I think Fortnite did that type of thing. Like, they did like a 1 month long season. They see what Fortnite is doing, and it worked really well. It actually became one of the most played seasons, like last year with The Simpsons. And I think they're going to do something here also this year, just for a month. But they also did Star Wars for a month. So the month type of seasons work because it's not too long and it's not too short and it's enough for everyone to cover something. And maybe they're going to be some sort of collab. I don't think it's going to be a collab season, but I think it's going to be like just an anniversary. Battlefield 6 is 1 year old. Log into this game and get some free rewards. Hey, new battle pass, all that kind of stuff, right? I think that's what's gonna happen. I think that's what they're aiming for, and I think that's gonna be the gap between season 4 and season 5. That anniversary type of season is gonna be 5 weeks, probably, and it's gonna be that with all the small content. I don't know if they're gonna release any content in terms of maps. I don't think so because they haven't mentioned anything, and I don't think it will happen. But it's gonna be like some sort of like maybe like LTMs, more game modes, all that kind of stuff, something like that, right? And oh yeah, play for this match and you unlock a free skin. It's gonna be anniversary, right? Log in every day, that kind of stuff. So that's my prediction. Let's see if I'm gonna be right. But yeah, and they talk about the Q&A, which is basically the same thing they talked about in this blog post. And that's kind of it that happened in this community update. So the most important thing that we learned is that server browser is not coming, and Platoons is not coming until February 2027. And speaking of that, so that means, okay, we're gonna get a new map, probably Propaganda, this December, early December. Then we're gonna get, actually, you know what? I don't think we're gonna get a new map January. I think we're gonna get 2 maps in December, early from the get-go. So we're gonna get Propaganda and maybe that Las Vegas map, maybe. In February, actually, I don't know. Anyway, I'm just speculating here, like thinking, because I don't think there's gonna be any good content drops in January. I could be wrong, of course, but that's the question mark that something's gonna get delayed, something's gonna get changed. Like I can already see the shitstorm that people are gonna be they're gonna be bitching about this. I can already see that. Happening. So beware. So yeah, and season 5 is like starting in December. So that's kind of the news basically. But yeah, no server browser until February. So that's that. What else I talked about with this community update? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, got nothing else to say. So let's just go, I guess, to the next topic, and let's talk about the matchmaking thing that happened recently. All right, guys. So was it Friday? Friday, I think. They did a post on the Battlefield communications, whatever, social media account, whatever. The one that shows you about updates. So they did an update to the playlist, how the playlists work in Battlefield 6. So they said that they agree that it's a bit convoluted with so many modes and so many game modes and everything like that. And people complain about matchmaking, especially in the regions that, like Asia region, Australia, or whatever, in those lower player number regions, people complain that, hey, they get bot lobbies, all that kind of stuff. I think the reason they get bot lobbies is because they disable crossplay, but that's just my opinion. I don't know. I'm just, from what I've seen, people that complain about bot lobbies, I think the ones literally just disable crossplay. From what I've seen, I'm not saying I'm correct, but from what I've seen, that's the general idea that I'm getting from people that I talk to. I had the chance to talk to these lovely people. But anyway, so they did a change, and they agree that there's too many game modes and all that kind of stuff, and they want to mainstream it a little bit, right? To make it simple and all that kind of stuff. So they did the Conquest, like a big mode here, the playlist, another playlist here. They combined Breakthrough and Operation into one, which is great. That's fine. You know what? I don't care what you do with a playlist, because I know that it's just a playlist. I don't give a damn. What pissed me off though, so what pissed me off? They not only removed certain playlists or whatever, they removed game modes. King of the Hill, for example, is removed. Entirely removed from the game. You cannot matchmake to the game. You cannot do that, like maybe a Portal Soros, maybe once there and there. But King of the Hill is non-existent in the normal search. Okay, kind of shitty thing to do. They left TDM in there. I don't give a fuck about TDM. I think everyone playing Battlefield will agree. No one fucking gives a shit about TDM. If you want to do TDM, go do Portal stuff. Okay, so they did that. I tried, because sometimes I feel like playing Conquest with friends, right? Escalation, whatever, right? I love to play with friends, like those big modes, because we having fun. Cool. When I'm playing by myself, I like to play smaller modes like Domination and King of the Hill, because hey, I'm playing by myself. I want to shoot some people and level up some weapons. And double XP happening right now. Well, happened when you listen to this. Double XP happened, so like, okay, let me level up some weapons, while I play Domination King of the Hill by myself. I can only play Domination. Okay, well, I was like, what was the problem then? Well, certain maps don't work well in Domination, and certain maps work really well in King of the Hill. The same maps work well in King of the Hill, and other maps don't work well on Domination, and vice versa, There's certain maps that work better in certain modes. If you select Rush to play, you can only get Rush on one map, which is Suru Reef, and that's the only Rush map you can play if you do it in Custom Search. Custom Search is destroyed, borked, it does nothing there for me anymore. It's like, the reason I used Custom Search a lot is because they give me an option of what I want to play and how I want to play, and I can filter the maps that I don't want to play on. Like, there's some technical stuff happening in the background that they have to decide, oh, okay, we can't spawn a server here because it's too expensive, all that kind of stuff, and blah, blah, blah. There's probably some technical reasons, and the network engineer probably can explain it to me. Cool, that's fine. But at the end of the day, I should not care about that as a consumer, as a gamer, as a guy that plays your games. I kind of want to play what I want to play, Don't force me into modes that I don't want to play, I don't want to play. Listen, if I want to play Operation, I want to play Operation. I don't want to play Operation and Breakthrough in the same fucking playlist. That's why custom search is there. But for some reason, I noticed that custom search just doesn't have the options and everything. So they probably removed certain modes and certain maps from rotation, and you can't them official play. So maybe the custom search is not bugged, that they just literally removed those maps from rotation. You can't spawn servers with those maps. Maybe that's what it is. So yeah, I get what they're trying to do. I get it. But the way they did this, also, so the point was to improve matchmaking speeds for you to play the game. Good idea, that's fine. But from what I noticed, when I tried to matchmake to domination only, because no King of the Hill, at least I had options with other modes. Hey, the game would throw me around like, oh yeah, there's more players on King of the Hill domination. Go King of the Hill. Great, cool. It's just gonna drop me down, and matchmake starts, and the match starts very fast, and people join. Just maybe a maximum a minute. Now, when I search to domination on certain maps that I want to play, now I have to wait 3-4 minutes for the server to fill up for 16 fucking players. So the matchmaking not only got worse, I can't even play the fucking game because I have to stay in a fucking lobby for so long until it fills up the fucking server. How's that an improvement? It's just like... Also, some people are complaining that Strike Point never returned. Actually, in the Q&A, they say, hey, someone asked, where's Strike Point? Oh, Strike Point is coming back, we're just redesigning the mode. Okay, where's King of the Hill? They never mentioned anything, they just pretend that King of the Hill never existed. And also, some people complain that they can't get their challenges done because King of the Hill is removed now. Because there's certain challenges with King of the Hill. Anyway, so regarding Strike Point and King of the Hill, my prediction regarding these modes and why they care so much about Strike Point is because it's going to be part of their competitive ranked experience for multiplayer. So they taken that mode, they took it off, because apparently it was bugged at one point, but they just removed it and they could fix it. But apparently maybe I think the reason it got bugged is because someone's working in the background with that mode and it's going to be repurposed for ranked multiplayer experience. That's my prediction. So it's going to be part of the ranked experience. King of the Hill is also a good competitive type of mode. Also probably going to be redesigned for the multiplayer for multiplayer ranked. I think that's why it's kind of convenient that the competitive wannabe modes are being removed from custom search or just from the playlist in general. And they talk about ranked multiplayer coming soon, whenever they don't have a date yet, but whenever. So basically that tells me that, okay, so you're just basically taking those modes and you're gonna repurpose it into ranked multiplayer. And if people want to complete challenges for those particular modes, that how the game is right now, like, hey, unlock a skin by getting 6,000 points or whatever in King of the Hill, oh, go do that in ranked. More reasons for you to play ranked, right? More multiplayer ranked. On the Strike Point and King of the Hill and some other mode, it's probably gonna be in rotation with ranked. Like, I don't know if that's what they're doing. I don't know. I'm just guessing. I'm just guessing what they're gonna be doing with those modes. Because it's just like, why these modes? There's a reason. There must be a reason, and I think it's because of ranked multiplayer. And I think they're gonna try to copy Call of Duty in a sense, because ranked Call of Duty, when it comes to multiplayer, is a fine system. Works well. It's fine. Like, you have like 3 different modes and like 5 different maps. And I was thinking, oh, they're gonna do like a Battlefield 1 Incursions type of thing for ranked multiplayer. The more I think about it, I don't think they will. I think it's gonna be, well, not bare minimum, but it will feel like bare minimum. They will take the best maps from Battlefield 6 maybe 4 or 5 maps, depending on the mode. Maybe change a little bit just for the particular modes, but that's gonna be the ranked experience. They don't want to make a new map. They don't want to take one map and just redesign like they did with Battlefield Incursions, right? There was brand new maps designed for competitive. I would love them to do Battlefield 1 Incursions in Battlefield 6. That would be freaking fantastic. But I have a feeling if King of the Hill and Strikeport are being taken out, I have a feeling it's gonna be redesigned on the current maps we already have, and then they're gonna make a new map or a redesign of the map. Although I don't know, God knows, but that's my prediction because I have a feeling that's what's gonna happen. I was like hoping like, hey, Incursions type of thing. That's fantastic. That's great. But I don't think it's gonna be that. I think they just picking a perfect selection, like the most competitive maps they can find in Battlefield 6 right now. 5, 6 maps maybe, 4 maybe, and modes are redesigned for those maps, so because it's competitive. So yeah, that's my prediction. If I'm gonna be right, we will see. Alright, so let's go talk about leaks, because I already talked about everything that is important that happened this week. So anyway, leaks. Let's talk about leaks. Alright guys, let's talk about leaks, and it's not gonna be like leaks that happened in the last week. It's more like a general idea what we can expect with Season 5 and beyond. Also, sorry about the play in the background, can't do anything about it. So, loads of leaks happened, and I don't even know where to start to begin with, honestly, because there's so many things to cover. But let's start with this. Just let's set the stage quickly. So, there was this article posted on a new website by Sean Weber, and it's called Off the Record Gaming. That's his website, offtherecordgaming.com, and he's a leaker, Tom Henderson type of guy. You know, he has some leaks, he posts some stuff, you know, and he's now doing articles because that's what he wants him to do. That's fine, whatever. So he posted an article about why Battlefield 6 launched unfinished and what was left behind. Now, if you've been listening to Battlefield 1 podcast for more than a year, mostly starting before Battlefield Labs was even announced, so 2024, if you've been listening to since then, I'm just gonna basically repeat what I've been saying since then, and I have it on the record saying that Battlefield 6 was not supposed to come out 2025. It was supposed to come out in March or April this year. So 4 or 5 months ago. That's when Battlefield 6 was supposed to come out. That's what I've been saying before the reveal even happened, like many months ago. Many months forward, like whatever. Many months before the reveal, I've been saying that Battlefield 6 is not scheduled for this year, which is 2025. That was back then. And as soon as Labs was announced, Battlefield Labs was announced, yeah, we're doing Battlefield Labs and all that kind of stuff, I'm like, okay, that basically confirms that the game is not coming out later this year, because it's not coming out in autumn. And that was kind of obvious. And then, of course, when you go through the internet and all the stuff, like all the articles and leaks from various journalists and everything, for example, Jason Schreier, well, like you probably heard that name before, a reputable gaming journalist, he literally said that he was talking about GTA or something like that, and he said that one of the upcoming shooters is debating to release the game in April, in March, in spring, to avoid GTA 6. And GTA 6 was planned to release 2025 autumn, right? So they're just going to avoid it, right? That was the plan. So did they say it's upcoming AAA shooter, right? And how many AAA shooters were coming out that year? It was only Call of Duty and Battlefield. That were only Call. So we know Call of Duty is not delaying shit. That's not happening. So what's left? Battlefield. So if you read between the lines, you knew he was talking about Battlefield. That was like 7 months before the reveal for Battlefield 6, right? And 4 months or 6 months, I was saying, like, yeah, Battlefield 6 is not coming out that year. Of course, as you already know, the game came out October 10th. And if you listen to the old episodes of me and Ray talking about this, we were flabbergasted. What do you mean you reveal the game? So, like, you reveal the game now, and you release the game almost like 2 months after the reveal. the turnaround, this is the fastest turnaround I ever seen in a Battlefield game, let alone any game in this matter. It's so... You want to tell me 2 months from the reveal to the release of a AAA game, especially Battlefield. I was flabbergasted. People were gaslighting me like, "Oh no, you're wrong, Tom. You're wrong, Lanky. You don't understand. The game is gonna be amazing, all that kind of stuff." And as soon as that reveal happened, the first episode on Battlefield 1 podcast, I literally came in and said, "Listen, guys, I'm telling you right now, Battlefield 6 is gonna be fucking undercooked as fuck. It's gonna be bare bones and or broken." How was it, guys? Was it broken? No. Was it undercooked? Yeah. Does it like content? Yeah. Does it like a lot of things? Oh yeah. I said that, and people were gaslighting me, telling me like how wrong I am, all that kind of stuff. But that's what's happening. Listen, guys, I'm telling you, it's gonna be fucking undercooked. It's gonna be undercooked. People are like, no, you're wrong. People hated me. People gave me shit for that. Game came out 2 months later after the reveal. Oh, look at that. Game is undercooked. Surprise. I love being right. So anyway, so this article by Sean Weber is basically telling this story. That, hey, executives saw the opportunity. Andrew Wilson, he needs this 38 million, He saw opportunity. They saw the opportunity. They saw that GTA is delayed till spring. Again, back then was delayed till spring. So it's like, okay, Call of Duty is not doing too well either. With Black Ops 7, the reception is really bad and all that kind of stuff. This is our opportunity to release the game early and get that market share, right? Finally beat Call of Duty in being the best selling game of the year, right? Because that's the unicorn they were chasing for the last 20 years. They finally did that. They released the game early. And of course, because you're releasing the game early, you're cutting the development budget, the time of everything by almost half. Of course, the game is going to be undercooked. Of course, the game is going to be lacking stuff because you're releasing the game prematurely just to hit that perfect storm. And in a sense, it was the perfect storm, yes. Of course, me saying like, oh, it was the wrong decision, all that kind of stuff, it doesn't really matter because they made the money. It's the best-selling game of the year. The best retention, the best Battlefield game when it comes to retention, that kind of stuff. Who am I to say they were wrong to do that? I can see the reasoning behind it, but that's what the article is all about. And then, of course, he talked about the half campaign and the delayed modes, and why RedSec was undercooked, and RedSec is fucking undercooked as fuck. Don't get me fucking started. Only now it's kind of getting better, but even then, as still netcode and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so. The campaign was cut content, all that kind of stuff. So that's expected, right? So that was the article, and that's basically the stage I want to set. So that's why all the new upcoming leaks that I will talk about now is basically they're doing catch up. So one of the big leaks that happened last month, I think, I don't have the date on it, but basically there was a playtest apparently. And again, all the leaks I will talk about, they could be wrong. They could be full of bullshit. They could be absolute dogshit lies. Yes, keep that in mind. Could be absolute lies. But let's pretend these leaks are somewhat correct, because usually when there's smoke, there's fire, right? Usually. It doesn't mean it's going to be absolutely correct, but something between the lines will be correct in a sense, because these leaks don't come out out of nowhere for no reason, right? So let's keep that in mind. Leaks could be wrong, but something's probably true. So one of the leaks that came out that really will interest a lot of people. So remember when I said the Q&A, one of the developers said that they have bigger plans for operations? Right, this is the plan for operations. So in Season 5, so this guy says they playtested Season 6, which will be starting March, I think. Yeah, so 2027 March. So in Season 6, 2027 March, we'll be getting a new operations. And that operation is not the same one like it was Operation Ogre. This will be like an a la Battlefield 1. Will be a cinematic experience. Will be, it's called White Cliffs, or at least that's the codename maybe, fuck knows, I don't know. But it's located in the British coastline, and it's basically, there's like coastal fortifications. It's like D-Day basically, right? So it's gonna be a like D-Day type of thing, assaulting British shores with AC-130s as behemoths, all that kind of stuff. It's a very large-scale operations, like someone, I think he described it as Battlefield 5 Iwo Jimos type of thing. So it's like something like that, but for Battlefield 6. And you're basically, like I said, attacking the British coastlines. And he also said the other map has a seaside resort feel, like coastal fortification. Okay, so that's the point. The point is that operations will be improved, will be more cinematic, will have bigger scale, you know, AC-130s, like assaulting British shores, all that kind of stuff. And we know from the leaked map names, that was like 2 months ago, maybe a month ago, they had like it had the code names for the maps that are coming for Battlefield 6. So there was like minimum 16 maps, right? Minimum 16 maps coming for Battlefield 6, at least at this point. So in the next 2 years, we're gonna get minimum 10, 12, depending, whatever. Oh, actually, speaking of, as I'm looking at my leaks right now, so this guy was talking about White Cliffs, right? Like the code name White Cliffs, right? As I'm looking at my the code names for the other future maps, one of the maps is literally called White Cliff. Okay, that's in the code name. That's in the game. So this the developers talking about operations getting a big upgrade. This is probably it. So that's what's happening in season 6. It's gonna be their big push for operations coming back, big spectacle, big cinematic experience. You know, Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5. You know, that kind of stuff. They're aiming for that experience. So yeah, I just realized now as I was reading the leak in front of me, and I was connecting the dots, and I was looking at the map list. Of course, the person could just made up the leak from just this, right? From the same thing I have. So it could be fake and all, but I don't know. To me, it's just too many connecting dots. I think this is true. Maybe not everything's gonna be correct, but AC-130, all that kind of stuff, maybe not. But yeah, I think this is pretty true. So we're getting big operation starting season 6, which is 2027 March. So yeah, exciting times, and British shores, right? So cool. And of course, as I'm looking at the maps, it's gonna be more British maps. So that's that. There was also from, actually wait, now I'm comparing. So Jack Frags, I know, posted a video. He's from his he's like me. He's going checking Telegram, people leaking shit in Telegrams and their Telegram accounts and all that kind of stuff. Apparently, the 3 new maps visible: Doe, Dry Lake, and Paradise. Actually, let me compare it to my leaks quickly. Do I see? Yeah. That's okay. Yeah, what he just shared in his YouTube video connects. Yeah, I have the same names. I see MP Doe, MP Paradise, MP Dry Lake. Okay, so yeah, this leak is probably correct. It probably comes from the game files, all that kind of stuff, right? There's a line that says community map. Will it be the same as Battlefield 4 CTE community map? I wish, but for that to be true, Battlefield Labs can't have NDA anymore, because NDA just basically ruins everything. So, but anyway, I can't remember which episode was it. Anyway, it's titled Battlefield Labs something, like 15 episodes ago or something like that. So that's that. So listen to that episode where I talk about Battlefield Labs, because I fully disagree with the direction for Battlefield Labs. And actually, I think I talk about it in the roundtable in the future episode. Anyway, but that's that. So yeah, that's good. Community, but apparently they're gonna do a community map. So we'll see if that's true. Aircraft equipment, vehicles. Sure, you know what? I don't care about that. All right. So moving on. We're already going to the closure of this podcast. So let's talk about the last important bit that happened. So 9 days ago, according to my information here, 9 days ago, there was a Reddit post from a guy that says that he worked as a playtester or a QA guy or something like that for them, right? He was not directly hired by Battlefield Studios or EA. He was like going through third-party agency or something like that. Anyway, so he's like, my contract ended. I have NDA, but hey, ask anything. I'll answer the most I can. And whether this account is faking his credentials, whether he's talking bullshit for attention, whatever the case may be, I don't know. But this was removed by moderators. This is not available anymore on Reddit. But that being said, I've seen so many times, believe it or not, developers themselves making fake accounts and just showing the game or streaming the game or leaking information as someone else to generate some sort of questions, hype, whatever the case may be, right? Sometimes it's done by marketing themselves. They make a fake account and just leak stuff just to see what kind of reaction they're gonna get from people, what kind of questions people ask. Again, this could be all pre-planned. It happens. Or maybe this guy just literally felt like, you know what, I want to leak shit because fuck you. Because I lost the job, like whatever the case may be, or the contract and whatever. Like, and he's not like really breaking a lot of NDAs, but he's just saying what's. So people ask questions, right? So again, we don't know if this guy is true, but I would not be surprised if it's true because, again, I'm gonna go through this Reddit, thread and everything, and some of the information does connect with my information that I have from other people. So that's how you just determine if the leak is correct or no. Something could be wrong, something could be wrong. But he said he's not the developer. He's just a guy that's seen shit. And he says that he never had any power to change anything because at the end of the day it was developers. He was just there as a passenger basically. So someone asked any changes to Assault class, and he says in multiplayer no at the moment. Despite my feedback, it's still being considered a very strong class. So developers at Battlefield Studios think that Assault class is still very strong. In RedSec, there are a few considerable tweaks. Right, so I remember they talked about class balances coming sometime in the future for Battlefield 6. Haven't seen any of that yet. So, and I don't think it's even coming honestly this year. And if they think Assault class is still strong in multiplayer, God help them all, because no, that's so wrong. The whole class balance in Battlefield 6 right now is borked. Especially RedSec kind of fine, in pubs at least. In ranked RedSec, absolute disaster because they remove vehicles, so you kind of like destroy half of your class synergy with that. So that's that. He talks about more class that I don't really care. Someone asked, is there other remastered map coming back from other titles? He says, at least one that I know of. So he's probably talking about Propaganda that is coming with Season 5. Because he did say he playtested Season 3, 4, and 5 and all that kind of stuff, right? Someone asked, from which Battlefield title? He says, I cannot say. I'm sorry. They are nice ones. Okay, I don't know what he means by that. But anyway, he can't say which Battlefield title. But I think it's Propaganda. Okay, someone asks, my biggest question, have they ever considered adding ammo resupply stations on objectives like Battlefield 5? Really need that because no one ever drops ammo for guns and launchers, especially on large maps. He says, some resupply stations are being tested. Some resupplying stations are being tested. But not on every map on my experience. It is still your work as a supporter to drop the fucking bag or another player requests it, which I agree with. That's saying his opinion. Fortifications as building trenches and such, question mark, it's on the tests. So he said that fortifications... Oh, because I forgot to read the rest of the question from this guy. He asked if the fortifications are coming back to Battlefield 6. I don't know where they're coming from, why people want fortifications, but Andre did say that he wants fortifications too in the future episode. You'll listen to that episode when it's coming in a couple of weeks. Or subscribe to Patreon to get early access. We did talk about fortifications, but yeah, people want fortifications. And he says Battlefield Studios is testing fortifications. They're testing fortifications. Now, doesn't mean fortifications is coming to Battlefield 6. I'm gonna tell you right now. Just because they're testing it, it doesn't mean it's coming. It could be coming for the next game. That's more realistic than Battlefield 6 in my opinion. Unless Battlefield 6 is literally staying here as long as possible for 5+ years. Sure, then I can see fortifications coming to Battlefield 6. But I have a feeling this is being done for the next game. That's my opinion, and that's how I would imagine happening. Because I don't know what they will be doing for the next game, but whatever. So fortifications may be coming to Battlefield 6. I don't think it is coming, but we'll see. Is there a chance for reworking breakthrough layout on some maps, or we're stuck with what's already there? He says yes, a few. Some active maps are being reworked. So okay, breakthrough is being reworked on certain maps. Okay, cool. How do you know you're not lying? Also give us a time frame of what content. He says, I worked on a few months in the project. At the start, we were working on Contaminate, tweaks to Battle Royale, and a couple of maps already in public. But then moved straight into the new content. The last couple of weeks, we worked on Zero Reef to make it playable at first, then really enjoyable. Okay, that's what he says. Someone asked, I just want a jet ski. Guy replies, good news for you. Okay, cool. We already knew about the jet skis. Someone asked, are there any UK-based maps in Season 5? London Underground or Dover? Dover is a town in UK. Yes, he says, yes, I cannot confirm details on the either instances, but there are UK-based maps on testing and almost ready to release. Okay, don't know if it's Season 5, but he says Season 5, so okay. British maps are coming. Dynamic weather is constantly requested by the community for some maps. Is it being looked into, and is there any chance we get this in the future? As he replies, as I said in another comment, it seems like the engine doesn't allow it yet, or that's what I heard. But it's being considered seriously. Day-night cycle 2. So I want to talk about this quickly. So before Season 3 came out, I remember there was a developer came out and he said that he is very, very happy that Goal Mode is coming out first from all the remakes and all that kind of stuff. Future remakes, whatever. Because it gives them an opportunity to work on some features and systems that can be worked on Battlefield 6, right? Like we said, like I already said the stage, Battlefield 6 came out prematurely, very early, and loads of features were missing from the game. Loads of things were missing from the game, and they're doing catch-up right now, adding stuff to the game. And the engine was upgraded for many different reasons, and whether you like it or not, but the engine needed upgraded. And for the last 10 years, even the older days of Battlefield 1 podcast, we talked about how Frostbite engine is a bitch to work with. It's a bitch engine to work with. Beautiful engine, but it's such a bitch to work with, and people hated it. So that engine upgrade maybe happened is because I remember when Battlefield 6, before it came out, I remember there was a developer saying he's happy to work with this current Frostbite engine because it's much easier to change things. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what he said. He said that if there's anything that needs to be changed, it's easier to do that right now because it's more like that's the engine they added more tools, more options and everything for the developers to work with, and that's great. So when he says that the engine doesn't allow it yet, I can believe that actually, because yeah, even though all the Battlefield games did have dynamic weather, snowstorms, sandstorms, rain, or something else, right, tornadoes, all kind of stuff. But with this new upgraded engine, even though it's upgraded, there's still missing stuff that needs to be added back to the engine that doesn't break. And also because the engine is basic. Again, I'm not an engineer. I'm just speculating how this works because it's a brand new code. It's not just it's a foundational change to the engine, so it's much easier to work with stuff. And when they're gonna add that dynamic weather into the engine to make sure it works well with the game, all the kind of stuff, right? That means they can apply to other maps and can be applied to future games much easier because it's gonna be just there in the engine, like in that primary engine that you can tweak and work with. And you have, the best example would be like Call of Duty right now with their engine. Every studio right now is working on the same engine because they all share the same thing and the same features and everything. That's why every game Call of Duty has been coming out for the last 3-4 years. It's kind of periodically an improvement on each other, not in a sense, but on a technical level, right? So because there's certain features are kind of the same because it's basically built from the same foundation. So that's kind of what I think is happening here because Battlefield Studios has 3-4 studios now working together. So they kind of work on the same engine. So we kind of need more tools to make it easier to work with, right? So that's the thing. That's what's happening. So it's just Battlefield 6 is that perfect opportunity to upgrade the engine as much as you can for the next game, all that kind of stuff, right? So I can't believe that the engine is not cannot handle it yet, because that's what I heard from other people. It's not like they can't handle it, it can, but it just needs loads of work. That's all. So I think dynamic weather is coming, but it's not coming in the next upcoming year. That's why I suspect. Day and night cycle? Okay, I can believe that working because some already did it in Portal, so I can see that happening. Alright, someone asked, any word on map-specific skins loadouts as a thing? Being able to set camo presets per map would be such a quality of life win. And honestly, it's gonna make people more likely to buy different skins instead of sticking to one universal default. He says, sadly no, it was one of the suggestions, as I did not want to be a scuba guy in Golmud and being a jet or a pilot in shirt and shorts, but it is what it is. I just had every character with different thematic skin and just changed their character accordingly. Okay, so he's just like any person. Like, okay, so he's not coming. Which I think I talked to Ray 2 episodes ago about this. He mentioned, oh, it would be great to have like you can select which skin you want to use for each location. And I told him, yeah, sounds cool, but logistically, how are you going to achieve that? How do you achieve that logistically? The menu, as like when you open the game and you want to select that for each map, how do you select that? Are you select on the skin, like which maps you want to play on? Or how you would achieve that logistically? If you say, how would that work, right? I would love to have that. I honestly, I don't really care. Give me a favorites list and I can rotate between skins. That's what I want. I don't care if I'm a scuba guy on fucking Golmud or whatever. I don't care. Give me like a favorites list that I can rotate between skins every match. So that would be great. But regarding that, logistically, I asked him, so how you can achieve that logistically? So that's that. Some guy asked, is the feedback from Battlefield Labs testing really something they look at? We reported so much stuff every time, but all the bugs and weird design choices always made into the live game anyway. Some of them are still not fixed to this day. He says, yes, very deeply and actively. If that reaches the results we all want it to be... Oh, okay, that's broken English as fuck. So he's clearly not English. I bet my ass he's from Romania, because Romania has... EA Romania, they have loads of people playtesting their games. So I'm pretty sure he's Romanian, or at least from that same country. Whatever, so yeah, he's alright. I bet he says they really care about the feedback. That's what he says. Someone said optic reworks. Apparently they work on it. Yeah, they work on it. Okay, so whatever. Please, something about reworking lighting or color grading for some maps like Brooklyn Bridge and Eastwood. He says, we tested Eastwood a couple of days ago. We haven't tested Brooklyn Bridge in a while. What's your concern? Okay, does the answer anything important? No, not really. Any chance Gauntlet will get ranked mode? He said on another question that ranked is coming to Gauntlet if things go expected or something like that. Some guy just replied, okay. Any 50 cal snappers? He says, good news for you. Okay, any ones that is not already announced? Good news for you. Okay, so we're getting 2 50 cals coming in the future. Okay, did you work on the reworks? If so, can you have small idea of what they're gonna be like? The reworks, which is Sobek City and Blackfield Fields. Some maps are considered too small for the amount of action and are getting new areas. Some are being closed to focus on the action. And so he basically, if I'm guessing what he's trying to say here is that Sobek is gonna get expanded, and Blackfield Fields is gonna be shrinkered. That's what I'm guessing is gonna be like. We'll see. Anyway, any more on dynamic weather events? Yeah, okay, he already said that. Are there any squad-based improvements that you can talk about, such as requisitions, reward points like in Battlefield 5? He says not really. Developers are happy how the squad system works right now. Maybe like some additional scoring systems, but that's kind of it. So, alright, fair. Any changes to coming to Little Bird? Hopefully. That was my last week of testing. It does need some balance, and we did let them know it was broken. Okay. What's your favorite Pokemon? Blaziken or Gengar? Gengar? Okay, whatever. I don't play Pokemon, I'm sorry. Any news for the jet loaders? Yes, and rebalances and modes. Cool. Will fortifications and building cover make a return? Already talked about it. Not in every mode nor map, but yes, very likely. We did some slight testing on those. Okay, so certain maps might get fortifications. Actually, speaking of fortifications, could be coming to operations, actually. So that one that we talked about, the early leak about operations coming in Season 6, could be for that. I can see that being a feature coming back, because it will kind of make sense, like if it's a D-Day type of thing. Operations, yeah, fortifications make sense. That's why I can imagine it working. Okay, anyway. Okay, yeah. I'm just checking. Yeah, okay, someone asked about the reworks again. Some maps were expanded, added new capture points or roads. New Sobek feels like twice the size as the old one. Okay. Right. Is there any content plan for... Okay, so... Is there any other content planned that is not 12 p.m. and sunny? My God, yes! And my guy says yes. Thank fuck. I am sick of every single game in Call of Duty, in fucking Battlefield, every single fucking game being 12 p.m. and sunny. I am sick of that shit. Every single fucking map on every fucking game. I'm sorry for swearing. Every game, every map, literally 12 p.m. sunny, clear skies and everything. No clouds in the sky, nothing, no bad weather or something fancy. No, it's always 12 p.m. sunny, and I hate it. So anyway, new maps are, at least some of them will not be sunny days. Thank hell. Right. Let's go. Let's do like just a couple more, because there's so much. Dynamic weather again. Okay, don't care. Alright, so this is gonna be an interesting question. How much of the design decisions are influenced by the suits as opposed to the developers? Is it fair to say that the dev team is relatively inexperienced with Battlefield formula and gameplay systems? How much consideration is put into the non-traditional Battlefield game modes, RedSec and Gauntlet, in regards to class and weapon balance to us, as opposed to Conquest and Breakthrough, etc.? That's a good question. He says, many of our testing leads had no experience in Battlefield per se. Sometimes they asked us about MCOM interactions in Conquest, not an example, just like some sort of, like just some dumb questions. He just gave us as an example. Not everyone at the dev team plays the game, and those who do, not all of them enjoy it. Despite that, they all did work lots of... Again, he's not English. They did loads of work. I'm just gonna try to paraphrase it. They did loads of work for the game, and they received our feedback daily and hourly. Many things we did suggest and requested revision is being worked on, or already was worked on. So yeah, just like any, it's like, of course people are gonna lose. Oh, they don't play Battlefield. Yeah, like any big studio, you know. As long as they're doing their job, who cares, right? Okay. Important. Here we go. That's a good one. For all the people coming to read the OP's answers to the various questions, it's obvious DICE could never make an early Battlefield game. And he says, I'm glad they won't. That's what killed COD. He says they will never do annual releases. Now, I did say a couple episodes ago, I can't remember which episode was it, a couple episodes ago, we talked about annual releases for Battlefield 6. I'm saying if they ever do an annual game, they're gonna drop that idea the next fucking game. So they're gonna release, let's say, Battlefield 7, and then they release another Battlefield game the next year. You will not see an annual game after that, because the executives at EA, well, this time the new owners at EA, they realize, oh shit, this is not selling well as we expected. No fucking shit. Because believe it or not, guys, Battlefield as a franchise tried to do annual releases before, and it did not work whatsoever. Did not work. Battlefield is a franchise that works best when it's being supported as long as possible, because a new Battlefield game is an event type of thing. A new Battlefield game every year doesn't work. No one wants that, and no one can make it work. And this guy confirms that they can't do it. They just don't have the capacity to do it, and I'm glad. Because Battlefield is not that type of franchise that deserves to be an annual release. But like I said, if they ever do an annual release, it will only happen for one game and one game only, and they will drop that idea very fast, because like I said, the second game will not sell as much as the first, the game, let's say Battlefield 7, right? Not happening. Just not happening. And it's obvious how it's gonna end up. Obvious. So annual Battlefield is just not happening. No way. Just they can't do it, and the audience will not accept it. Simple as that. Right. Let's just do a couple more. Okay, I don't care about the weapons. Any word on when the strike point the game mode returns, which is that 5-on-5, was it 4-4? I can't remember. Anyway, strike point, that game mode, right? People that for some reason really want. He says soon it was being worked on, and Q&A literally just a couple of days ago confirmed that yeah, strike point is returning and it's being reworked. Again, probably for the ranked multiplayer experience. That's my prediction. Any new maps that are from Battlefield 4 or Battlefield 3? Sadly, I cannot say. There are maps returning, but I cannot say from where. Cool. Any AK platform assault rifles in the works? AK-74M, AKM, AK-103. He says no, but honestly, I think they're enough, and he just basically says his opinion. Cool. Okay. Then he says that something important that's not important. Oh, okay, here we go. Any mention of Striker Karkan remake? He says, not by name, but most likely is being worked on. I don't know all the maps, and we had code names for the maps we were testing, so I really don't know. I just saw gameplay from Karkan in Battlefield 2, and it does look extremely similar to a map that we tested. But it was very, very, very early development and barely any textures, so I'm not sure if it's the same. So I'll say it's mostly likely it will be it. Okay, so Striker Karkant is probably being worked on, but he's not sure. Look like it, but it's probably going to be like a Golmud type of thing. It's not Striker Karkant, it's Karkart on Strike. Oh, sorry. God, so shitty. It's going to be called Karkant or some shit. Fuck knows. Anyway, so they're maybe working on. He says it looks like that, so maybe. So I think it's going to be like, it's going to get Cairo Bazaar and Golmud type of treatment. I'm guessing. Let's go with this last one, just because I've been already talking for so long and nothing else looks that interesting. So, alright, last one. Are there any new interesting maps, weapon, gadgets, and vehicles that we should be looking forward? Any fan service type of stuff? He says, we were actively working on 4 or 5 multiplayer maps and 2 or 3 for RedSec. At least 1 new weapon per category, rebalances in classes, a few new vehicles, some cool returns, and some new skins and collaborations. So that's nothing surprising except RedSec. 2 or 3 RedSec maps. Okay, so let's unpack that quickly. That's going to be the last question for today. Let's unpack that quickly. That's kind of a lot. So okay, we're assuming here these are 3 new battle royale maps. I don't think that's the case. I'm just guessing. If they're actually working on 2-3 battle royale, RedSec maps, one of them is probably Gauntlet. I'm guessing. But the other 2 is 1 new battle royale map. I think that's a given. But the other one, I think it's gonna be a resurgence type of mode for RedSec. So anyone that doesn't know what resurgence is, basically play Call of Duty or Fortnite actually. In Fortnite it's called Fortnite Reload, while in Call of Duty it's called Call of Duty Warzone Resurgence. And the Resurgence is being played on the smaller map it's not the same Battle Royale map, but it's playing on a smaller map compared to the Battle Royale map. Less players, less squads on the match, and there's redeploys. So like you get like a limited number of redeploys in the game. So if you die in this specific time, you can redeploy back to the game without any revives and all that kind of stuff until the redeploys are disabled fully and you can't redeploy anymore, and you just basically kind of becomes a battle royale on this smaller version of the map. So the redeploys get disabled as the circle shrinks, right? So it's like a faster battle royale type of game. So I would not be surprised if they're working on that kind of stuff, because hey, Call of Duty Resurgence did that. So they have a battle royale in Resurgence, and Call of Duty right now with Black Ops 7 has ranked mode in Warzone. It's all in Resurgence, which is sucks, but whatever. Fortnite did the same thing. They have a battle royale map, and they have a smaller version which is called Reload, and it's basically the same premise as Resurgence, as Call of Duty Resurgence. I can imagine like people working at RedSec, they're looking, well, we can do that too. We can have a big battle royale map, we can have Gauntlet, and we can have a resurgence type of mode on top. And some people will enjoy that because some people do not enjoy battle royale, and that's okay. But if it's under the RedSec name and you're making new maps, I can imagine making a resurgence type of mode can work really well in the RedSec. It's like faster type of battle royale for Battlefield 6. I think that's fine. I see no problem. I think it can slap really well and can be really fun. That's my prediction. That's what I'm guessing. Will that be the case? I don't know. I would like to have a second map for Battle Royale and have it in rotation with Fort Linden. I don't know if they're ever gonna do that, but I wish they would, and I hope they will, but we'll see. So that's what he says. 2-3 new RedSec maps for Battlefield RedSec. Okay, anything else in important? No, I did say that would be the last one because, yeah. Oh, is there any more Pacific maps coming? Just blink. Guy blinks. Okay, everything else is not okay, now then... Okay, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna stop covering this because it's gonna get convoluted and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, those are the leaks that happened in the last month and something, right? I was thinking covering much sooner, but I realized, I'll bring this up because, listen, if Platoons and Server Browser is only coming in Season 5 Phase 3, which is 2027 February, obviously there's no rush to talk about the leaks because they're not gonna be happening for the next year, you know? So what's the point discussing leaks that fast? So that's why I decided to talk about it in this episode because, hey, why not? You know, let's just go through this Reddit post that is already deleted. Information could be wrong, God knows, but it's interesting to discuss, you know, to see what's happening, you know, and some of it is probably true, and I think some of it is actually really true because some of the information does connect with other information from other people. So, you know, there's some connecting tissue there and there. Not everything is one-on-one correct, but connecting tissue is there. Like 3-4 different people saying kind of similar things. So that's like, it's like a broken telephone type of thing. So some of it is probably true. Am I excited for the leaks that are coming for the future stuff? Like, okay, like the community update they released, I am so disappointed because I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, okay, I guess I'll have time to play Modern Warfare 4 and enjoy it. So that's great, I guess. It's up to DICE for them to be like, but then again, Andrew Wilson, the Chud himself, fucking Chud, earning 38 million because Battlefield 6 is doing so freaking well. Hey, shareholder value? I mean, sure, fuck the developers. Fuck that. Andrew Wilson needs all that fucking money. So, good for him. So maybe that's why everything's delayed, because they just don't have the team. And also, if we really want to think about what's her name? Alexia Christofi or something like that. She had an interview before Season 2 came out. And one of the journalists asked him, hey, can you work on this? Or something like that, I remember. And I'm paraphrasing right now, but I remember she was mentioning that they are a particular size team. They don't have all the resources available. They have to be very, very careful what they decide to do because they don't have that many resources and that many people working on stuff. So they have to be very selective what they work on, which is obviously with any project you're working on, you have to be very selective. But the way she described it sounds really bad. And after people got fired, in spring, and Andrew Wilson taking his 38 million with him, and he's gonna get more as the Saudi is gonna be finally the owners of EA. I'm expecting more layoffs, unfortunately, more changes coming up, and people are low-key worried what's gonna happen, and naturally, so I don't know, and hence why the Platoons and the Server Browser is taking so long to produce, because they just don't have the manpower to do anything else. They have to be very selective, all that kind of stuff. So that's that. That's unfortunate truth. Is Battlefield 6 in trouble? No, it's still doing well. It's just disappointing that it does not hitting the full cylinders. That's the problem. I think we all agree that it's not hitting the full cylinder. Like, it's not at its peak, right? And you can see the potential in Battlefield 6, but it's just they're not hitting that potential yet. In 7-8 months, maybe we'll see that potential finally realizing, but I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, other than that, I have nothing else to say. I just say that thank you guys so much for listening. It's probably one of the longest episodes. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for interacting with us. Like I said, questions, one more week. So if you have any questions for me or anyone else, multiple questions, whatever, go to that link in the description of this episode. Click on the first link, start asking questions, and that's it. You can send as many questions as you want. It's like 5 seconds. 5 seconds to ask a question. It's that easy. Ask any questions, we'll answer in the next upcoming episode, and I will bring Ray for that. At least I'm trying to bring Ray to that episode if he doesn't come in, so I'm just gonna record without him. Regardless, that's what I'm trying to achieve. I want him on the episode. Future episodes already recorded, will be released on a weekly basis as usual while I'm be gone. And yeah, support us on Patreon, patreon.com/TheLankySoldier if you want to listen to those episodes early. Support us. Your support really means everything to us. $2 or $5, live streams, extra episodes, early access, or just love for the game, love for me, love for the podcast. Thank you guys for everything. Please support us. That's patreon.com/TheLankySoldier. That's patreon.com/TheLankySoldier. Or you can just go to the episode description and just support us there. So yeah, thank you guys for everything. Thank you guys for listening to my jibber jabber about Battlefield. And yeah, if you want to listen to the original episode I recorded yesterday that I'm not gonna release to the public, I'm gonna release it on Patreon as an extra episode. So yeah, thank you guys for everything. Have a good one, and we'll see you next episode. And don't be a douchebag. Have a good day. Thank you guys for everything.